So I'm really excited about that. Yeah, I mean, other than that, obviously the music's kind of getting there. I'm starting to put together stuff with a certain 9-piece band.
Without any further ado, we are so thrilled to welcome back the one and only Corey Taylor.
Yeah.
What's up, Corey?
It is. How are you?
Good. Better now.
So excited. Yeah.
Well, you say that. I mean, this could, this could go the way of the dodo very quickly. I mean, we've had moments before, so let's just, and we'll do it. However, I don't know how they do that.
I don't know, but I think that was correct. So
yeah, it's north, south, west, east. I can't remember. Yeah, it's fine.
Fair enough. As a Jew, no clue. But so we see people are already asking questions for you, Corey. But before we do that, I wanted to bring up that you had recently posted a meme from this week in Super Bowl that was, a spoofing with Slipknot. And a lot of people have been mentioning that they want to see you in some capacity perform at the Super Bowl. And, back in the day, like, I guess it was more like the MTV era, they would have these super mashups with like Aerosmith and NSYNC. So if you have the opportunity to perform at the Super Bowl, who would be in your super mashup?
Oh, man. I actually had a vision of this the other night when I was thinking about it. What I would do is I would set up a pentagram stage. This is why they'll never ask me.
You never know.
They'll never ask me to do it. Ever, ever, ever. I'm saying never. I would set up a pentagram stage based slightly around what the Who did when they played, because what they had 4 corners come in. And it was the circle. It was the British symbol that they had on their airplanes during World War II, and they played on the stage, and it looked like that. It would be rad. So what I would do is have 4 corners come in as a pentagram, and I would have Slipknot at one point, Stone Sour at another, CMFT, and then 2 points that I would fill in with either Public Enemy or NWA. And then the next one would be like an all of us getting together to jam, like just a massive jam that would just be out of control. I mean, but then again, that's why I'll never be asked to do the Super Bowl, because I got to say a lot of those are very offensive. And, these days we can't have things offensive.
Listen,
no one says anything bad.
I mean, we saw Janet Jackson's boob. I mean, like, come on. I think we can have a pentagram Slipknot.
It was a good boob.
We're not complaining about the boob.
Great boob. Maybe that's what the stage is instead of pentagram.
Boob.
It should be rad,
Love it.
I take
it. Danica?
All right. So speaking of the Super Bowl, do you have other thoughts on this year's Super Bowl performance? I mean, a lot of people have weighed in, given us our opinions. We'd like to know yours or what.
It's classic. Obviously, I was kind of rooting for the Chiefs, being a Midwest guy. Some of my friends are massive Chiefs fans, and the fact that they won last year and they're such a great team, their O-line just couldn't handle it. Defense wise, Tampa and the Chiefs were pretty evenly, based. But when you're dealing with Brady, and as much as I hate to say it, he's just really good, and that pains me, being a Colts fan, that pains me to say that. He's just damn good. And, if your O-line folds and your defense can't stop the other team from scoring, you're just going to lose the game. I think there was a lot of things that had the Chiefs off, just basically off kilter, between everything that happened with Andy Reid's son and the accident and all the trash talk, the sentimentality for Brady. I think there was just a lot of energy going into that game for Tampa. And, you know, my only problem is I wish it would have been a closer game. I wish it would have been more about, because I mean, look, the refs are going to ref. We all know that. I've seen everybody acts like this is the first time the refs have affected a game. It's like, I beg to differ. I've seen many Super Bowls that have kind of gone on that, and it's just, it is what it is. It happens and it happens. There's nothing you can do about it. But I just wish that it would have been a little more like evenly shot. Obviously, you know, Mahomes is playing with a injury to his foot. He's got to have the surgery on his toes and whatnot. So I mean, this was a game that I think people were overly confident that the Chiefs were going to have a chance, but there were so many things stacked against them to begin with that you were almost guaranteed that the Bucs were just going to steamroll them.
Yeah. Wow, this is the most sports talk I've ever heard in my entire life. Thank you for that. I feel like it finally made sense.
Well, there. I mean,
it.
It's honestly, I watched the game and I was watching everything unfold, and there were a couple of calls that were a little ticky tack, but for the most part, I mean, the holding was all holding. You know, the one that I really was bummed out about was the interception that Matthew had. That got called back because of a stupid penalty on the Chiefs' part. But I mean, other than that, I mean, it was pretty straight down the middle. I think everybody was just heated. People in retrospect are going to be like, okay, fine, it's whatever. But you know, it'll be all good.
Yeah. Well, I like this as a follow-up question from Lauren, wanting to know if you watched the Royal Rumble, and if not, I guess spoiler alert. Edge won the Royal Rumble, but do you have any feelings about maybe Edge going to WrestleMania?
I'm okay, no, I mean, I, like many others, didn't expect him to be wrestling, period, you know? I got to hang out with him a few years ago at a Slipknot show, which was so rad, and I'm still juiced about it. I got a picture of it, and I point to it, and I go, it's me and Adam, you know? So I get really stupid, you know? I had no idea that he was coming back. He didn't tell me. He didn't tell anybody. Dean Cameron, you're going to have fun with that. And he was in the Samantha's Gone video. We'll talk about that later. Yeah.
Yes, please. We will.
And, you know, so when he came back, a couple of years ago, when he first came back, like, that was massive. Like, I popped as hard as anybody. Like, when that music hit, I went, no! I thought The Miz was going to come out and pretend to be him, you know, like he does. Mm-hmm. And it was actually him. And, I mean, after I picked my jaw up, I was just like, I was bawling. I was crying. So then fast forward to this, where Edge won. I couldn't believe it. I mean, to go from, you know, that dude, because I watched his retirement speech, man. It was brutal, and it broke my heart. He was one of my favorites, you know. For him to go through that and really work to come back and do this, and now, basically he's going to be working like, you know, he's, you know, regular work. I was like, I'm so stoked for him, man. Like, I can't tell you how excited I am for that.
Did the two of you have like similar injuries? I'm not too sure like what his injury was with his neck.
It sounded like it. I know there was, and look, I'm speaking for him, obviously. I don't know positively, but from what he talked about, a lot of his side effects were very similar to the side effects that I had when you have compacting of the vertebrae and a breakage where the bone is actually growing into your spine and it's affecting the way. Yeah, I mean, it affected my balance. I had no strength on my right side. There were a host of things that kind of go along with that level of spinal injury. I mean, God bless him that he worked that hard to get back, man. But at the same time, if he had the same surgery that I did, which basically they replaced the disc, they jacked everything up. You know, my symptoms are gone. I'm back at pretty much full capacity. I mean, if it can work for a schmuck like me, obviously somebody like Edge can fight through that stuff. So I'm just glad he's okay. I'm even more excited that he's working, man.
Hell yeah. Well, I like this question from Jack wanting to know, I mean, and obviously, you do a lot of stuff with the WWE, they use a lot of your music, but would you ever enter the Royal Rumble?
No, only if I could pull a Drew Carey. Only if I could, like, if I come out and I'm in my, my crappy Adidas sweats, I'm like, and then the next dude out the door is, Big Daddy Diesel or somebody who's just like, Drew McIntyre, like just a beast crusher comes out, and I'm like,
so what?
And then all of a sudden, he takes that whole time to get down there, and then it's just a chase. And then all of a sudden, his actual opponent comes out, and I split. I'm like, what, Pete? Whatever, dude? And I'm gone. That would be, yeah. And then I go into the Hall of Fame as the dude who didn't do anything.
Amen. Well deserved, Corey. Well deserved.
I want to call attention to my Igor Stravinsky shirt. Repping.
So classic.
Reppin'. Yeah. Hell yeah.
No other reason than because. So there you go.
Because why not? That's the only reason you need. So you already mentioned briefly about your new music video for Samantha's Gone, which did feature Steel Panther and Dean Cameron, which when we saw that video, we're like, we have Corey and Dean Cameron in the same week. We're psychic.
There's some prescient stuff going on that I appreciate. It's great.
So how did this superstar mega mashup video come together?
Superstar.
Dude, you had so many incredible characters in that video. I mean, anything with Steel Panther.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Actually, it was literally me calling people up and going, I have this stupid idea for a video. And it was literally just like that. I was like, I told the dudes in my band, I was like, look, we're going to play the crew. So, which means we'll be the best dressed dudes there, because it's always the way on a video shoot. The crew is always dressed way cooler than the actual band in the video, and you just sit there going, God, they look comfy. Oh, I don't wear this crap. What the hell is going on here? So the best part is, like, the biggest part is not even Steel Panther. It's the people who are in the fake band to get. I mean, my buddy Joe, Tom Sandoval from Vanderpump Rules.
Love him.
I couldn't believe we got him. He's friends with DJ, the director, and he sent him the idea, and he was just like, oh, I'm totally in. You know who we almost had? We almost had Nick Carter. Yeah.
Backstreet's Back, all right?
All right. Yeah. I mean, and it was so close. He was totally down to do it, and then he wrecked his ankle and couldn't walk. Man. So Tom was actually a last-minute fill-in, which thankfully he was so down. He was so cool. I mean, just so stoked to be there, man. Came in, he wore this rad wig and just was doing these ridiculous moves. I mean, we were dying. We were watching. I was just like, this is perfect. And then in the back on drums, I don't know if you noticed, but Greg Grunberg is actually playing drums, who's been in everything, He's probably one of the few dudes. Yeah, he's one of the few dudes who's been in Star Trek and Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Clutch, and was in Heroes, which was great. And then my buddy Jonah Nimoy, which is another tie there, because his grandfather was Leonard Nimoy and is an amazing guitar player in his own right. So, dude, I mean, it was a cavalcade of star power.
Dude,
so weird.
So much fun to watch. And listen, I think now the next video, you got to get Nick Carter, because I want to see the Corey Taylor, Nick Carter mashup.
Oh, I already have an idea for the next video. And if I pull it off, I'm going to get, 2 words. Mm-hmm. Chuck Norris. That's all I'm saying.
Don't toy with my emotions.
Because if I can, I know. Like, the bar is now above me. I can't reach it. I can't reach it a lot. But that's not the point. The point is, if I can pull this off, it's going to be rad. I cannot wait.
Exciting. Things to look forward to during these crazy, crazy times.
We've had a lot of people asking this kind of question, so we'll jump into this. What is the first place that you would like to tour when you are able to go on tour again?
Oh man, I mean, honestly, if everywhere. Like, I don't have like a specific place, but I mean, I'm actually looking into putting together a socially distanced pod tour, basically, which would be May, June. I'd be doing it with my solo stuff and my wife, actually, the Bombs. We would basically be the Taylor family tour.
Oh,
and it'd be about a month, and basically what it would be is like, you'd have the little pods where, up to 6 people can be in them. There'd be temp checks at the door. You wouldn't be allowed to come in unless you have a negative test within 48 hours of being able to come in. So we're really, really looking at doing something serious, and that'll be in the States, obviously. With Slipknot, we're looking at keeping the dates, some of the dates that we had actually pushed off. So maybe starting in September, doing stuff in the States. So, I mean, knock on wood, I don't know if that's going to happen, but for now, it's looking like that could be the way. So, here's to hoping. I mean, for me, I'm just ready to get back on the road, and whatever I need to do that, I'm gonna do it, because I mean, A, I'm gagging to play. B, people are gagging for entertainment, and C, if we don't at least try to find a way to make this happen in the circumstances. I mean, waiting for everything to be gone is ridiculous. That's not, we have no idea when that's going to happen. So if we can find a way, legally, smartly, obviously responsibly, to start to move the gears, to crack the rust, to get the wheels going, to get life slowly getting back to normal, then I'm going to do it. I'm not going to break any laws. I'm certainly not going to put people in a position where they're part of a super spreader or anything like that. However, I am going to try and get work for my people. I'm going to try and bring some fun to people's lives. And if I don't do it, who's going to do it? And if nobody does, then I'll be the one to break the seal.
I feel like this is the new reason why everyone needs to wash their hands and wear a mask, is so we can be in a pod and see Corey Taylor on the road by the end of this year. Like that's the new thing.
Hey, I'll back that.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. And it really sounds like you've thought about this. Like, it sounds like you have this figured out. And thank you so much, because I think mental health obviously is just as important as our physical health. And as long as we continue to social distance, we need some form of normalcy. We need music more so than ever now. And we need to, and there's something about live music too that really, I feel like, will help pull us through even faster. So
no, absolutely. And like I said, I mean, there's a connection that happens when you're in that, that setting, you're with people, they're enjoying themselves, and, we'll have people watching the audience to make sure they're, sticking by the regulations that have been put into place. But at the same time, people need to feel like they're alive, man. They can't just, we're not existing. That's one of the reasons why people break the rules and the regulations to begin with, is because they're tired of just existing. They need to live. And that's, let's find the balance and let's get it on.
Amen. Amen, brother. Okay, so I guess kind of a follow-up to that would be, let's say that you are able to have Knotfest. Who would be like an artist or a band that you've never had the opportunity to tour with before that you would like to see on the road with you?
Oh man, I would love to do like a co-headlining thing with 9 Inch Nails. They are one of my all-time favorite bands. I've done some festivals with them, with Stone Sour and with Slipknot over the years. We've always been on opposite days, you know, so it's like you have to kind of come in early to kind of check them out, you know. Yeah, I mean, that would be a dream, you know. Other than that, I would love to do something again with Faith No More. Got a handful of shows, and we've actually got them for some of the for the Knotfests in South America. So if we could do something in the States as well, I owe so much to people like Mike Patton. Like those people will never understand, you know, just how you know important they were to the development of me as an artist, man. And when I get to do things like that and show respect, it means so much to me that and people may look at certain artists like that and go, it doesn't really make sense. But to me, it's the world, you know, it all makes sense. So if I could do something with them as well, God, I'd just be rad.
Hell yeah. Wow. Very cool.
This is sort of in that vein, but it's sort of also changing gears so that we can get into an interesting project we're going to work on in a second here. But so to begin this, what makes you feel nostalgic? Is there a certain album that you listen to or movies that you watch growing up that put you in a good mood and go, you know what, everything's better because I have this album, this movie?
At my age, everything gives me nostalgia, to be honest. Even new stuff gives me nostalgia where I just go, oh my God, what the hell is this? This sucks, you know? Or I'm a verb away from standing in my front lawn with a cane and just shaking it at clouds. Like I'm that guy. I'm the most insufferable hater. Ask my wife. My wife just looks at me and she just goes, don't you get any joy from anything anymore? And I'd go, the only thing I get joy from is eating all the new stuff. I can't. And that's me. That's my life. That's my life now. So stoked about it, you know.
I'm gonna write this down for the next time that we get Alicia back on the stream. I'm gonna ask her exactly that question.
Oh my God, it's every day too. It's every day that like we'll be standing like making breakfast or something, or she's working and I'm just drinking and there's music on, and I just go, ugh. And she just goes, "What now? What do you hate now? Like what?" She goes, this is fun. And I go, this is awful. Like, how do you, like, it's just the never ending battle of her just being sweet and awesome and happy and the best thing in my life, and me just being the curmudgeon who rather just, you know, shoot BB guns at young kids. You know, I mean, that's who I am now. So.
Fair. Well, okay, so kind of to segue into this, and we did ask you previously, we didn't want to put you directly on the spot, but the first time that I got to interview you, we talked about your love for the musical Les Miserables. And, you know, you do have the back tattoo of Jean Valjean.
24601. Yes.
So Danik and I were wondering if we could sing a little bit of Les Miserables with you. And we'll start. Yes. Danik and I will be Javert, and you're Jean Valjean. We sent you the lyrics in the private chat just in case you need them, even though we know you know them. But all right, here we go. Ready? Valjean, at last we see each other plain. Monsieur le Maire, you'll wear a different chain.
Before you say another word, Javert, before you chain me up like a slave again, listen to me, there is something I must do. This woman here leaves behind a suffering child. There is none but me who can intercede. In mercy's name, 3 days are all I need. And I'll return. I pledge my word. Then I'll return.
You must think me mad.
That was, I mean,
we
that
could
was...
keep going.
Oh, yeah. That was...
But that was brilliant.
Corey, Corey.
It's me channeling my Combe Wilkinson, like I said. And obviously I shaved the gray, and I feel, look, I can only apologize so many times. And
no apologies. No, that's like, first of all, right in your range.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe not just Les Mis, but do you think that that's something you'd want to do, is live theater?
I don't know. I mean, you know what's funny is I've actually been toying with the idea of writing a musical, like a real musical, like not Spam-A-Lot or anything like that. Because I've kind of gotten in the habit of doing like concept albums, obviously, so I know how to kind of tie a story together. And I've been toying with the idea of writing a musical based around the people who I spent a large amount of my 20s with in Des Moines, like my crew, and how we all found each other, how the Misfits kind of came together and found each other, and we kind of saved each other. I mean, we all came from these crazy, balls of emotional abuse and neglect and dealing with problems, but we didn't know what the names of the problems were. The only thing that saved us was the fact that getting together made us feel like we weren't alone, and it made us feel that we could, if we had each other as support and as friends and as somebody to talk to, maybe we could work our way through it, And in that time, I was exposed to everything, like so much new music, so much different music, so much new literature, movies, so much. I mean, it was the catalyst for everything that I am now, So it's an idea that I've been kind of tinkering with. Because I'm a scatterbrain, I don't know if I'll ever get it done. But it's definitely something that I feel definitely more passionate about now than I did about 10 years ago when I thought of it. But I'm actually getting more confident now, and definitely in my piano playing, which is what I would write it on. And it would just be something. Just be something like another passion project, just to see what would happen, Well,
obviously you're a beautiful writer, and I think that would be something I would like to see, and everyone in the comments are agreeing as well. So that's amazing, Corey. I look forward to it whenever it happens, and if it does happen, I hope so.
It'd be rad, right? I'm hoping, let's the best way to make God laugh is to announce your plans out loud. But I will say, maybe we'll see.
Maybe is better than no.
Yeah.
Right?
I'll take
it.
Maybe
Yeah.
Better than Well, okay. Another question that I had asked you the first time we met was about, the Corey Taylor biopic. And initially you said you would want Jason Statham in a wig to play you. Does that still stand?
I mean, yeah, I still got the hair, dude. So it's still hanging on, I don't know if his American accent would work. So maybe in the next year or two, I'll just start using a British accent. So it ties it to
Right. Make it easier for him to play you.
The solution is not to find another actor. It's for you to become British.
I've sacrificed a lot. Okay. I don't ask for a lot. I ask for hot coffee and Jason Statham to play me in the movie. That's all I want. Okay.
What more do you need?
What? Listen, if I have to go the extra mile.
I don't know. Should we start talking in a British accent now? Maybe then.
Oh,
right.
Should I?
Should I?
Great idea. Come in, right? And it's just fucking kicking ass, right? It's just wrong. Oh yeah. I'm gonna get so much hell from my English friends, my British friends, because they're gonna be like, "Yeah, you sounded Australian, you asshole! Like you're not even the right continent, not even close." I'm like, "Whatever, y'all just sound foreign."
Mine goes Australian too, so no judgments. No judgments here. No, it's funny. We had on somebody from I don't know whether you're familiar with RuPaul's Drag Race, but we had on a contestant from RuPaul's Drag Race, and we were talking in an Australian accent, and we both were like, we sound amazing. This is the best thing we've ever done. So many Australian people slid into my DMs the next day, and they're like, that was horrible. You're a disgrace to the continent. I'm like, what did I do? Like, I'm so sorry.
You're right, which is why I don't live there. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Anyway, okay, Danica.
All right. Yes. With the let us try words.
In
British.
British.
Accent? What's happening here? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
We'll find out in a couple minutes. Would the Corey Taylor story be a comedy, suspense thriller, or horror movie?
Oh, God. Probably all three. I mean, at this point, Jesus Christ. I mean, yeah. I mean, it certainly wouldn't be as over the top as Bohemian Rhapsody. Let's just say it that way.
Okay.
My story would probably. I mean, it would. God, I would probably have to. I would have to compare it to something like Ray. You know,
that was
very, very dramatic. You know, the best thing. The best parts of my life are right now. You know, I mean, the worst parts of my life are in my rear view for the most part, knock on wood, obviously. But it's encouraging, and I hope that people can find some solace in this. You know, the fact that you can go through stuff like I did, and you can go through your own hell, and you know, you come out, you know, kind of pat down the scar tissue and kind of get on with it. You know, it's obviously it's important to embrace what has happened to you and to kind of work through it through therapy and art and expression. But at the same time, you know, A, if I hadn't gone through, I wouldn't be me. And B, I'd like to think that I'm a better person because of it. You know, not that I would wish that on anybody as a way to be a good person, but because of the things that I've seen and I've done, you know, obviously I work really hard to keep my family away from stuff like that. It's a reinforcer for my sobriety. It's helped me figure out a lot of the reasons why I am who I am. So to bear that for an audience would be, I mean, it'd be hard. I don't even know if I could relive that sort of trauma on screen, but if it could help people and show them that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, you don't have to settle for the cliches that kind of come with dealing with that kind of abuse. If I could help people understand that, then, you know, maybe it'd be good, you know?
Yeah. Wow.
Not to bring everybody down, you know, it's like maybe I should tell a fart joke now. I'm not really sure.
Do you have any?
No, but I wish I could fart right now. God, that'd be great. I'd be like, there you go. You know.
Beautiful. That's absolutely gorgeous. No, I mean, I think that we appreciate the fact that you are able to be so vulnerable, because not everybody is willing to share their story. And, you know, like you said, it's what made you who you are. And
right.
It's what makes your music so impactful too, you know? So yeah. Fart joke.
Yeah. Well, I have one. I have a fart joke, but it would take too long to tell. So.
Okay. It's understandable.
Next time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What about a dad joke? Do you have any good like dad jokes offhand?
Oh man. No, I can't think of any right now. Oh, it's killing me. Yeah. I really wish I had. Oh, so bad.
Next time you want the fart jokes and the dad jokes, we just want
okay.
an
entire hour.
I got one.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Must be good.
Oh no. What? Oh no. Okay.
Okay. Are you?
We're sitting down, Corey. We're ready.
So. I can't do it. I can't do it. Ask me something else.
Okay, so actually, I really like this question because the previous times that we've had you on the stream, we had you on with Steve Gonsalves, who's from Ghost Nation, and so people wanted to know if you at some point are going to join him on a ghost hunt.
Oh, I totally would, man. I'd do that in a heartbeat. Yeah. If we were able to work it out and he had room on the crew, I mean, I'd walk around with a recorder and just be rad, man. The crazy thing is that ever since I've moved this is how attached I was to the house that I had in Iowa, man. Ever since I stopped spending as much time there as I did, and then ended up eventually selling that house. A lot of the crazy energy that has always surrounded me, and that a lot of the activity has honestly gone away, and I haven't seen anything lately. So I feel like any of that energy that had been kind of swirling around me has attached itself there, or maybe it has dissipated because my energy wasn't there to kind of entangle it or stir it up, basically. So it's been very quiet. I mean, we built this house, so there's nothing tied to this except the energy that we have brought into it, and it's been crazy, man. I've had nothing happen like in the last. So it would almost be like my energy would almost shake shit up if I went in with Steve to do something somewhere, and it would. Yeah, that could be really intense.
Yeah, I would love to see that. I know that they just finished filming a season, but maybe next season we can finally get the boys together and
absolutely.
Make it happen.
I found the magazine, the Taps magazine, that my friends had Steve sign at that thing in 2004. I found it. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was digging through boxes and I went, I was just like, Steve's gonna shit. Like, I was so rad. And I'm gonna hang it up in my office.
Amazing. Oh, I love that so much. Well, since we're kind of talking about horror, I guess this is a terrible transition. Since we're talking about horror, Corey, let's talk about part 2 of your documentary, In Search of Darkness, which a lot of people have been asking about, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. And so there's a couple more days for people to be able to, purchase it again, or how is that working?
Yeah, it's I believe it's like a discount on the regular version. I don't think we're going to do a Corey special edition on this one, just for the fact that this one's even longer than the first one, and it's got so many great people in it that, I mean, there would be no reason to have more of me, like between the extra stuff with because I went in and did brand new interviews for it. Robert Englund was a part of it. It's so full of just great horror nostalgia, especially for me, and getting to talk about some of the movies that I didn't get to talk about the first time. I mean, it was stupid. I was just like,
So, were there any films that didn't make it into either two? I mean, I'm sure there has to be a lot, but any films that you were hoping for a part?
No, I think we all got. Yeah, I mean, dude. I mean, we got into Vamp, for God's sakes. I mean, nobody talks about Vamp anymore. I mean, it was crazy. It's like, oh, wait a minute. You've got what's her name? Is a giant Egyptian vampire. This will sell. Yeah,
of course, giant Egyptian vampire. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, Grace Jones. Yeah, she plays
iconic.
Yeah, I mean, and she's like, she doesn't have a line of dialogue in the entire thing. Psycho looking. I mean, just super, just like, I mean, crazy.
What was that look again? I'm seeing it. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
that's my only superpower is this. I can watch this.
Whoa! Wait.
not much superpower as it is just a stupid human trick. So
I mean, I can't do it, so it's super to me.
It hurts. I don't encourage anyone to do it.
I've never tried, and I don't know if right now is the time to try.
Yeah,
but
don't do it. No, you might block it out. Absolutely.
Yeah, after the stream. But oh, very cool. So people are wondering for a recommendation that you would a horror film that you would recommend.
Oh God. I mean, that depends on the decade, man. You know,
80s. Let's go straight 80s. Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, you have to go John Carpenter's The Thing. I mean, it is to this day the best practical effects, the best use of isolation and tension. The acting is top notch. It's crazy good. You know, it's criminal that it didn't do well when it first came out. You know, because it was up against the cuddly ET alien. You know, and yeah,
you scared the hell out. E.T. was a horror film for me. I'm sorry.
See, I was like, that's a stuffed animal for God's sakes, you know.
And then I
like,
got him tattooed on my arm, as you do, as you do.
Yeah, no, The Thing is some of the best horror ever committed to film, man. And the fact that it's set, like they did all those effects, like the outside, the matte stuff outside against white, you know, they had run into those same problems when they were doing Empire Strikes Back because of the way the matting is against the snow. So the fact that they were able to kind of correct that and still have it look amazing, man, is just, it's a great movie. It's my top 5 movies. John Carpenter's.
Okay. Wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
Are the other 4 all starring what's his name? Jason now I'm not remembering his name. Jason Statham, yeah.
Yeah.
4, Jason Statham.
1, 2, and 3, and then the last Expendables. God, who knows?
They're still making those, aren't they? Somehow.
Yeah, they're working on a 5th one. I mean, who's left? Who are you gonna get? I mean, Jesus H. All right, whatever, dude.
If it makes money, I guess. But Danica, do you want to ask one more question? Then we'll go to the game.
Yeah, I've got a similar question to a lot of other folks who are all curious. Is there another book that we can start looking forward to? Anything else you're working on?
I've got a bunch of stuff going on. I've actually started really working on book number 5. I haven't really kind of cracked the skin on it yet. But it's definitely kind of starting to ferment and get, you know, it's starting to become like solidify and become an idea. And it's, you know, it might not be released this year, but it will definitely be done this year. To kind of get out. Yeah, it's just the last one, man, it took so much out of me that it really kind of left a bad taste in my mouth as far as like writing. It was just a lot of stress. Now, a lot of that could have been to, you know, the living situation that I was in at the time with, you know, my previous relationship really kind of culminating to, you know, to its end. But at the same time, it was exhausting making that book. It really messed me up. It's taken me a long time to kind of get back to a place where I feel pretty good mentally and positive about writing books again. So I'm starting to kind of hint that I might be ready to do that. And you know, other than that, I've written. I know I've talked about the scripts. I've written like 2 other scripts that I'm looking to shop. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. Zombie versus Ninja is actually starting to get some traction, man. Like we're really into some serious pre-pro. Like hopefully get that shot this year, which could be really rad. Yeah,
amazing.
So I'm really excited about that. Yeah, I mean, other than that, obviously the music's kind of getting there. I'm starting to put together stuff with a certain 9-piece band, and I'll just leave it right there. So yeah, so look for exciting stuff in the future.
Hell yeah. Oh, good. That's awesome. Well, I know we're ready for it. So, all right. Well, Corey, we have a game for you. This is a game of Would You Rather. There's no wrong answers. So whatever, you'll be fine, Corey. You'll be fine. I promise. So here we go. All right. Let's bring up the first one. Danica, do you want to go first?
Let's do it.
Okay.
All right. Kind of like we've been talking about. Would you rather write a musical that is, not write one, but just have one that is a musical based on Slipknot, or have the music of Stone Sour be featured in a musical?
Oh, man. You know what? I would rather have a musical based on Slipknot, just because I know for a fact that would be psychotic. Like, just not even just from my standpoint, but everyone in that band, certifiable. Everyone in that band, absolutely out of their goddamn gourd. And I'm including the ones who've come in recently. They're crazy people.
It's so fun.
Hell yeah. I just want to see like the theater, how like that would be set up too. The costuming. What masks do we use? Oh, I'm into it.
Clown would direct it. Clown would be he would be the director. I could see it. Like he'd just be like, he'd come in, he'd be like, there's not enough bees. We need more bees. Well, there's no bees in the script. Bees. I need bees.
Oh, yes. Oh, awesome. All right. Oh, yeah. Here's the next one. Would you rather watch your least favorite movie for 24 hours straight, or have to listen to your least
movie? It's just all of that is awful.
So it doesn't
necessarily have a least favorite movie that comes to mind.
Well, certainly not The Room. The Room is just funny.
I love The Room.
Probably Sex and the City too.
Oh, the second one.
Yeah. The first one was actually a little compelling.
Right.
The second one, I finished watching that against my will, and I felt like I had sand in places that I don't need.
Yes. So you must be thrilled that they're reviving the series, Corey. You seem so excited.
Ecstatic.
Wow. Oh. You're such a Samantha. All right, let's move on to the next one. Danica?
All right. Would you rather have your likeness turned into a Muppet, or be a victim in the next Friday the 13th film?
Oh, that's no fair. I mean, obviously, I would rather be a victim in the next Friday the 13th film, because I don't know if you can tell, that's already a Muppet that looks like me.
I think it's a sock puppet, yeah.
I think it's the sock, the weight and bleach, the pair they did, which was so funny. That I love it. Anytime anybody does a parody of us, I just laugh like a little kid. Like, I just love it. So yeah, I would love to be a victim in the next Friday the 13th movie. That'd be awesome.
How would you like to go? That's kind of a tough question.
Rip my head off. Look at the size of my neck. I mean, ripping my head off would really, you would have to, like, they'd have to pull a hatchet where they just really just kind of like that. It'd be rad.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh yes. Okay.
Juicy.
Yes. Next one. Oh, is this mine? Okay. Would you rather do a cover album of Elvis songs, or a cover album of David Bowie songs?
Oh, that's tough. You know, I love both, but honestly, just because Danzig has done his entire cover album of Elvis stuff, I would do an entire Bowie album. I've actually done a bunch of Bowie covers in the past. I did a really cool, kind of funky acoustic version of Fashion with Tooch, with Christian Martucci, and it was featured on the Howard Stern show. They had reached out to me to do it. Yeah, it was actually pretty cool. Yeah, you can find it somewhere. I don't know where the hell it is, but it was actually really rad, man. Bowie is kind of like one of my great spirit animals, dude. He was so eclectic because he wanted to be, not because everybody else was, but because he had musical tastes and designs that he wanted to do, man. He wanted to chase it down. He wanted to do it. So he's kind of the one who has taught me to just make music. Don't worry about what genre it is. Just do it. I mean, there's a reason he's on my arm, you know, like he's kind of the guiding spirit as far as like just following your instinct, your soul, and your heart as far as like what music you should be doing, you know, because as long as you listen to that, there are no wrong answers.
Amen. All right.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Next one.
All right. Would you rather have your next mask be designed by Greg Capullo or your next mask designed by Joe Sipko?
Oh, this is quite the conundrum. This is a quandary. You know, just because it's Capullo, I would just have to do Greg, because his art would fit so well with my design ideas. And I'm actually designing a new mask right now as we speak. So yeah.
What?
Yes. And I'm shooting to scare the kids again. So, the Capullo would actually be rad for that. So yeah, we'll go with Greg on this one.
Okay. And you know we want to know everything about the mask, but we won't ask too much.
I'm not telling Andy. I'm not saying.
But that's exciting. That's very exciting. All right. Here's the next one. Would you rather, this is my favorite question, be the fire breather in the cherry bombs or be an aerialist in the cherry bombs?
Okay. I want you both to take a good look at both of those pictures.
Uh-huh.
And I want you to think to yourself, which one do you think Corey's not able to do?
I'm going to say breathe fire.
I believe in you.
Are you out of your mind?
I think you can do anything.
Do I look that limber? There's no goddamn way. I can barely stretch to touch my toes, okay? And that's not because I can't reach them. It's just because shit just don't stretch the way it used to, okay? Not at my age. So, yeah, I would rather be a dragon like my wife.
Fair enough. All right. Love it.
God damn, you think I'm going to do that? That looks like I'm being tortured for information. There's no way out of that for me.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Next one.
Oh, my. Oh, yes. Would you rather write a concept album based off the Marvelverse or write a concept album based off In Search of Darkness?
Ooh. Oh, man. Then you had to come in clutch with a good question. Yeah. You want to hear, would you like a little bit of trivia? I actually submitted Absolute Zero for consideration for the original Avengers movie.
Really?
Yeah. They hit me up about music long time ago, which is one of the reasons why I got to see the Avengers before it came out in theaters. I got to see a sneak preview of it at Disney Studios, and I sat right behind Clark Gregg, and I was like, I was shitting. I was like, it's Colton. And when he died, I went, and I like freaked out, and he turned around, and I went, dude! And he was just like, oh, and yeah, so. Yeah, that's kind of cool, little trivia.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in a pickle. I'd probably do Search of Darkness, just because there's so many, my music definitely lends itself more to the dark side. So I would, and then I could kind of play around with all kinds of gnarly, there's so many different flavors of dark that you could play with, you just really make it fun. So yeah, I'd probably do Search of Darkness.
All right. Fair. No wrong answers. All right. I think we maybe have one more. Let's see. Okay. Would you rather perform kids bop versions of Slipknot songs at a kid's birthday party or have Slipknot music performed in concert by the New York Philharmonic?
Ooh. You know, I would want to hear the Philharmonic, you know, for real. Like I've heard kids' versions of our stuff. It's weird to say the least.
Would imagine.
And listen, there's not to throw a third option on this thing.
Go for it.
Also, I don't know if you are familiar with the music, the CDs of music by certain artists that is done to soothe babies. It's like you put it on and it's like completely redone versions of your songs. And they're designed to soothe babies. Now, there are certain artists that definitely it's a lot more soothing than others, but there is a Slipknot one. And it is, I'm here to tell you, it is even more chilling than some of our versions, man. I mean, there are weird versions of our, and I just like, because I had to buy it. I was like, well, we're listening to this, and I put it on, and I just went, it's freaky. I mean, super freaky.
But
so
first,
I would definitely listen to the Philharmonic version because it'd have to be like just a kind of a happy middle between this stark, super creepy, what the hell music, and then us in the middle would have to be, you know, the orchestrated version of it.
But I was going to say, shout out to these awesome parents that are playing, like they're raising little baby maggots since birth, and then they're going to grow up to be big maggots, and then, you know, it's fun. I enjoy it.
It's a little too messed up.
Fair enough. Well, that's that. We did it. I feel like we learned a lot here. You survived. But before we wrap this up, without saying too much, but kind of saying enough, I heard a rumor maybe that you might be doing something spooky in Florida sometime soon, Corey. Confirm, deny, maybe, question mark?
There's a possibility.
Okay. All right.
I'm twirling my mustache.
Yeah, it's all coming across the plan.
I hope that was like just subtle enough and everyone's like, what? But just eyes open, folks. Keep your eyes peeled. So before we wrap this up, Corey, is there any final thoughts that you want to leave us with here today?
Just everybody be careful. Everybody be smart. You know, I know there's a lot of excitement going on with obviously with the vaccine and the things, you know, numbers are starting to seem like kind of quell. It's feeling like, you know, life could start to get back to normal. This is when we have to be the most smart. You know, if you're going to go do things, make sure you are following the guidelines. Mask up. I wear a mask. The only reason I'm not wearing a mask right now is because I didn't really need it. I usually wear a mask. I put it on in the morning and I take it off at night and I'm out the door. I have it no matter where I am. I try to stay as you know, as far back as you know, personally possible. Let's do this right. You know, this is the home stretch. Let's be smart and let's do it together, man. Like, this isn't about politics. This isn't about, you know, people getting fired up because of rhetoric on the internet. Let's be safe. Let's do it together. You know, maybe this time next year we'll all be spitting in each other's faces at a gig. You know, because we're all good. But for now, figure it out. Let's do it smart and let's do it together, man. Because that's honestly, and I mean that from every angle, whether it's COVID or the economy or moving on past the hell that we've been through, man. Let's do it together. Because if we don't, we're just going to pull each other apart.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better. Thank you for that. Before we wrap this up, though, we're going to go over our upcoming guests. Like we already mentioned a couple times on Thursday, you recently saw him in the Samanthas Gone music video. We have Dean Cameron. Next week, we have Matt Novetzky and Aldi from Icarus Bell. And then we have Jeff Richards, who was on SNL, also Mad TV. We're welcoming back Chris Hansen, who from To Catch a Predator, legend. That's fun, right? And then also we have Lauren Lavera, who's the star of the new Terrifier 2 movie. So that'll be great. And Corey, as always, until we meet again.
Until adieu, parting sorrow.
Yeah, you may say goodbye to tomorrow. Cool. Shakespeare, don't see me.
There you go.
All right, guys. Everybody be safe. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. And we'll see you guys real soon. Bye, everybody.